Hey there, real quick, before we begin, you're about to watch a live stream, which means you're really kind of behind the scenes here because these lessons are usually watched in the archives, but you're here for the live taping of them. So if we mess up really bad, we're probably going to chop that out, but you're going to get to see all of our bloopers and mistakes. We'll also chop this off, so no one is going to see this part of the lesson but you. And because you're behind the scenes, you're probably going to ignore my instructions when I say, like, pause the video and go practice or whatever. You can if you want. It's just that everyone in the chat room then will be in different places in the video. That's fine. When you want to join us live again, go down to the bottom of the video, click on the live button, and that should take you straight to where we actually are now. So now here comes the part for everybody else. I'm really glad you're with us. The archives are fine, but my favorite is talking to you live. So see you in the chat room. Welcome back to KidsLearnPianoLive.com. My name is Jamin, and as you can tell from the countdown clock here, the lesson is about to begin. If this is your first time playing piano, welcome. I'm very excited for you. You're going to do great. Hopefully you already received from us the welcome packet in the mail, and maybe you even got started on the Absolute Beginners video pack to teach you the names of the notes and things like that. But if not, that's fine. You'll do great. I'll show you how to play all the notes. And if I'm going too fast for you, you can always pause the video or rewind it and go over the more difficult parts. You can always pause the video or rewind it and go over the more difficult parts. And even if you only learn a little bit of this song and you don't learn the whole thing, you'll still learn enough to help you build skills so you can learn other songs faster in the future. So jump in, give it a try. You're bound to end up at least a little bit better than you even are right now. Throughout the lesson, I may refer to Klopple Academy, and you can check out that link on the website if you want. Basically, it's a program that takes you all the way from learning the names of the notes, the very beginning, through 12 levels of classical and jazz music, through all the skills that you would need to become a professional pianist. So you would learn all the same stuff that you would learn if you're taking regular traditional piano lessons, probably plus a little bit more, but it takes about 5 to 10 years to complete. So you can just try out the first level, see if it's the kind of thing that you like, or if you just care about today's lesson and learning this song, then just ignore all those references and focus on today's lesson. If you're watching this at LearnPianoLive.com, there should be a PDF and an MP3 button right next to this video. The MP3 is a play-along track that you can use to practice more after the lesson, but a lot of students like to print out the PDF right now so they have it during the lesson. Careful, it could be up to like 30 pages, so just find the couple pages that you want and print those out. If you decide not to, that's fine. I'll show you all of the notes on screen as we go through it. And we will be going through 5 different levels of this song that all use the same play-along track. So even if you've never played piano before, you'll still be able to do level 1. And then as we go through level 2, 3, 4, and 5, then when we use that same play-along track, you just keep playing your same version. If you're watching this lesson in the archives and you have a question during the lesson, then feel free to click on that survey button. And at the end of the survey, there's a place for you to ask your question, and I will do my best to get back to you with the answer to that question. But if you're with us live as we're recording this today, then feel free to click on that chat button, and you can talk with all the other students who are logged in during the live lesson. And if you have a question about the lesson, then you can just go ahead and type that into the box that says, Ask Jamin a question, and we will do our best to answer that question live in the lesson. All right, I think that's the end of the boring stuff. I'm ready to learn a song. Stay tuned at the end of the lesson and I'll show you how to win more points and earn more prizes next week. But for right now, let's get this party started. Welcome back to KinsLearnPianoLive.com. My name is J-Man, and we're going to go through all of that. But if you've never played a song before in your life, don't worry. You can do a lot of this stuff. You can do all of the notes that I did with my right hand, no problem, and it's going to sound just like the song. It's going to be great. So let's start off by figuring out where in the world an E is, and yes, Popple will keep us going, moving along so we can get through all 5 levels of this as soon as possible. We need an E. Let me show you here. These 4 lines are the 4 lines we're going to be learning here. So we need an E. Wow, buddy. All right. He's coming back? Okay, no, we're good. So then we've got these 4 lines. We need to start with this letter right here. It's going to be an E. So we're going to start with an E. In order to find an E, we got to take any group of 2 black notes like these ones or these ones. Just don't pick a group of 3 and you'll be fine. Trust me, just find this first note. If you get this first note, the rest of it's going to be way, way easier. Don't pick a group of 3, pick a group of 2 black notes. Take the note that's on the right of any group of 2. You can pick these ones or these ones. Any group of 2, take the one that's on the right and drag it even a little bit higher until you land on an E, the note right above it, until you land on a white note. That one's going to be an E. And actually, those 2 notes back and forth, that black note and that white note that you just played, those are the 2 notes that you're going to be needing. And it's good to see you, BWWKH, in the chat. So these 2 notes right here are called an E, and then the note that's right next to an E is called an E flat. In music, if we had an E flat, we would use this symbol right here. And indeed we did. Using that symbol right there for an E flat. So we have a E natural first, just a regular old E, the white note. And then we're going to go slightly to the left to play the note that we used to find the E. That one right there is an E flat. So E and E flat back and forth. Let's see here. We've got once. We're going to play it back and forth. Then we're going to play an E natural and an E flat. Again, by the way, this sign right here is a natural sign. You learned that later on in Clopple Academy level 2, I think. And then once again, you're going to come back to this E, but there's no E flat next to it. So like 2.5 times, you're going to play an E to an E flat. So let's just try that much together. We're going to start on an E. We're going to play the E and then the E flat. You try that on your own. Go ahead. Yeah, cool. So then we play E and then E flat, E and then E flat, E and then not E flat. And already you are over halfway through the first line, and there's only 4 lines total. So if you can already play those 2 notes back and forth, you're doing really well. And I think, yeah, that same exact thing is going to show up right down here too. So you actually have way more than 1/4 of the song done already. Hey, Brian. Good to see you in the chat too. All right, cool. So then we have, oh, by the way, if you're in the chat, you're live with me right now. If you could let me know, I'm trying some new broadcast stuff. Let me know what the video quality is like. See if that's coming through nice and clear. We're kind of pushing our limits here right now. So, all right, cool. So then E and E flat back and forth. That's going to be a lot of the song. Okay, so the next thing that we need is going to be a B. Now, if you don't already have the part that we worked on, that's fine. You just pause the video, practice up whatever you need to work on, the E and the E flat back and forth, so you have it 2.5 times through, and then come back and play along with us. So don't worry about it if you can't move on to the things that I'm playing currently in the lesson. So then we're going to go E, E flat, E, E flat, E, and then we're going to go down to a B. In order to find a B, you could count backwards through the alphabet, which is nearly impossible for most people. We'd have to count A, B, C, D, E. Okay, so that one would be a D. And then what's right before a D? A, B, C, D. So that one's going to be a C, and A, B, C. So that one would be a B. Or you could just skip over 2 white notes and land on a B every single time. So you have E, E flat, E, E flat, E. Skip over 2 white notes, and you land on a B. And then we're going to skip again, but not over 2. We're going to skip over 1 and go the other direction. And then skip over none and go the other direction. So that's a B and a D and a C. It's kind of tricky because it keeps going back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. So if that feels difficult, that's because that's difficult. It's going to take some practice in order to get that down. That's why not everyone can play this song, but once you practice it, you will be able to. So we have an E, E flat, E, E flat, E, B, D,
C. Let's just try that whole first line together. If you are not ready for that, that's perfectly fine. That means that you're a normal human being. So go ahead and pause the video and then practice whatever you need to, and then come back and we'll play along together. I'm gonna go ahead and count 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we'll try it together. Ready? Let's try this. 1, 2, 3, 4. E, E flat, E, E flat, E, B, D, C. Yeah. Okay, cool. So we have all that down-ish, or at least it makes sense in your head enough that you could practice it later on. I'm going to keep on moving through the rest of the song. Feel free to ask me questions. If you're not live with me and you're watching this in the archives, then that's fine. Ask any questions about any song anytime. I'll get right back to you. So after we play that C, we got to jump over a B down to an A. And if we can make it that far, that's the entire first line plus a little bit. And it's kind of like the basis of the whole song. So that's the part. In fact, if you just played that much, you stopped right here at this A, and you just played that and then walked away from the piano, people would think that you know the whole song. It'd still be impressive. If you just came down here and you're like, act like a professional, and then you're like, and then you walk away, people will be like, whoa, that person can play Elise, and that'd be really cool. So we need to throw in an A in order to finish off that line, and then we've got a lot of jumping around to do. So admittedly, this next part right here is going to take some more practice. Let me show you how we're going to get through it. Again, you can come back to this video later on anytime that you want. You don't have to play these notes right now. But after we hit this A right here, we're going to go down to a C. This is where most people are going to mess up, because most people are going to go, oh, I'm on an A and I need to play a C. No problem. I'll play a C, but that's not the right thing, because that's going up to a C. We want to go down to a C. If we're supposed to go up, it'd be like a C would be like up here, and you'd see that line go up. But that line is going down, so do not go up to a C. From that A, we want to go down to this C right here. That's below a group of 2 black notes. So you find that group of 2 black notes, the C is going to be right below it. So we play the A all the way down to a C, skip over 1, and skip over 2, and that's going to give you a C and an E and an A. And then we just go up 1 note from there, and we're already on a B. Now again, this is starting to move a little bit faster, so it's going to be a little bit more challenging for most people to play those 4 notes. But once you have that, then we're really close to being done with the song, because the second half of the song is kind of a repeat of the first half. So these 4 notes right here. In fact, let's try all this together. If you need to pause the video, then that's cool. And then just practice up through those last 4 notes, and then we're all gonna play along together, all counted out loud, 1, 2, 3, 4. Ready? Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hear the melodies of timeless grace. A tale unfolds. All right. And it'll probably help if you say the words along with your playing as you go. And then we have, our last 4 notes are gonna be these 4 right here. Cool, so for some people, that's all you need. You can just copy those notes. Let me show you where we are though. It's an E and a G sharp and a B. So before I told you that with this flat symbol over here, that means slightly lower than. That's the lower than symbol. It means go slightly that direction. This one over here, right there, that is it's the hashtag, it's the pound sign. In music, it's the sharp sign, which means go slightly higher. So instead of playing a G, you're gonna play the note that's slightly higher than a G. It's this one right here. That's called a G sharp. And I promise that's about all that you'll have to do with like changing the names of notes and stuff. If you know the regular letter names, and then you know what flats are and you know what sharps are, and you've seen that natural sign already right here, then that's all the symbols that you're gonna need for a long time, until like Clopple Academy level 10 or something. It'll be years before you run into anything else. So already you've learned all the symbols. E, not a G, but the note that's slightly higher than a G, and a B, and then up 1 note, and that's it. We're gonna throw in, if you want to, this note is optional right here. This low E before you go up and you repeat the whole thing again. All right, so I've said a lot of words. Hopefully you've attempted a lot of notes. Let's try all this together. I'm gonna start at the beginning. I'll count 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm gonna go all the way down to the word grace. Good luck to us all. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hear the melodies D's of timeless grace, all the way down to C. A tale unfolds, down to E. A gentle grace. Huh. Oh, with, not eighth. Ha ha. Cool. We'll change that for the archives. That's supposed to say with. With gentle grace. Cool. Then we play a low E. And then we go up to a high E. As you can see, it's an E and then an E, but it's not the same E. It goes way, way up. So E all the way up to E. And we repeat it all. Here we go. E, E flat, E, E flat, E, B, D, C, A, all the way down to that low C. We are currently here. While, fear, Elise, and this next part is where things change. These last 4 notes, it's actually just the last 3 notes. The last 4 notes are going to change, and then you'll have the whole entire song. And if you're feeling like, what? I don't have the whole entire song. I'm still working on the first line. Cool. That means you're a normal human being. You need to practice this thing. Just work on the part that you can do plus 1 note. Don't do the part that you can do and then struggle through the end of the song. Just do the part that you can do plus 1 note. If you keep adding just 1 note at a time, practice it up for 5, 10, 15, 20 minutes, however long it takes. Add 1 more note, add 1 more note. You're going to be playing this song before you know it. All right, these last 4 notes right here, we were already actually playing an E. So before we went E, G sharp, B, C. That's what we did before. This time, instead of going through those 4 notes, hang on, I'm gonna check the chat, cool. Instead of going through those 4 notes, we're just gonna play the first of those and then play these last 3. Go up to a C, that'd be that one right there, and then come down, down through B and A. That's the whole entire thing. That's all the notes. Let's try this one more time. Again, please pause the video and practice. Don't feel overwhelmed. Don't feel like you need to even get all the notes. If you miss most of the notes, but you get a couple, that's a win. We're just trying to get slightly better than the last time you played this. Here we go. This will be our last time through. And yeah, Kloppel agrees. This will be our last time through before we move on to level 2. Level 1 people, you'll get to keep practicing this. Here we go. On your mark, get set. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hear the melodies of timeless grace. A tale unfolds with gentle grace. Down to low E. A piano player's touch. A dancer's glide. While fear Elise, the notes confide. That's all of them. Give yourself a hand. That was pretty awesome. It's about time to go up to level 2. But first, let's do a little bit of mailbag.
If you'd like to win an extra 750 points by being the mailbag winner, just fill out the survey at the end of the lesson or send us a message anytime during the week using the contact button at the top of the page.
And this week is from Louisa A, who says, Dear Jamin, how can I make my piano playing sound more expressive? So the way you can do that is by playing faster or harder. That's going to make the notes louder. Or you can play them slower, which is going to make them softer. That's just going to add different volumes. What I would try to do, though, in order to use volumes, in order to make it more expressive, is try to start really quiet and then build it up. Now, you can't do this with a song that you're not good at yet. So you'll have to practice on songs that you already know. But let's say you could already play Fear Elise, for example, and you were playing like this, and all of them are the same volume. In order to make it more expressive, I'm going to do the exact same thing. I'm just going to start really quiet. And I'm going to try to get louder and louder and louder and louder, like this. Or the opposite. Start really loud and then get soft. So we'll start. And then softer. And once you can go on purpose from loud to soft and from soft to loud, then you try going louder, softer, louder, softer. And then eventually that's going to just feel like expression and you'll be able to control that stuff so you can play. Louder. Softer. Louder. Louder, 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 softer, 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 softer. Louder, 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 louder. And just make it louder and softer whenever you want. But you'll probably have to practice first just going from soft to loud and loud to soft. And yes, we definitely have questions, other mailbag in the chat that are, where is Kendra? I know, I miss her too. But she is off doing amazing Kendra things, playing her music for TV shows and other famous people stuff these days. So fortunately, I get to still stay in contact with her and follow her. But she's like off in another state, I think now. So she's super duper awesome. And so are you. So for all the people who have birthdays in July, like me, July 16th, I want to wish everybody a happy birthday. All right, and this is the part in the lesson where we usually play a game. So I say, let's play a game. Today we're going to play something called Entertaining Dash. So this is where I'm going to play you two different songs. I'm either going to play Dashing Through the Snow, like that, or I'm going to play Entertainer, which goes... Now, if you hear these two notes right here, those are actually the only two notes of that song I'm going to play. So if it sounds like... that is Entertainer. It's also the ice cream truck song in a lot of places. So that is called the Entertainer. Those two notes right there are all I'm going to play. Or it could be Dashing Through the Snow, which is... So I might either gonna play Dashing Through the Snow, or I'm going to play... So that one right there, by the way, if you're in Clopple Academy level 3 or higher, that's called a minor sixth, and this is a major sixth. So those are the technical musical terms for what we're playing. But you can just know them as the Entertainer song. That's the Entertainer, or this one. So try singing along, see if you can figure out which ones I'm playing. I'm going to play them outside of the range here so you can't actually see what I'm playing. What about this one right here? What do you think this one is? I'll play it again. Yeah, one more time. That one should have been Entertainer. Yeah, cool. All right, Dashing Through the Snow would have been... those ones are there. Okay, now I'm going to try some really low. What about these ones right here? Ooh, does that sound like Entertainer or Dashing Through the Snow? Minor sixth or major sixth? It's really low, so it sounds weird on either song. But it should sound like... So that is Entertaining Dash, and you can play that on your own. There's lots of websites, and you can reach out, and we can play it more in other lessons too. But for right now, it's time for a little bit of secret information.
Secret information.
And this week, in our top secret information folder, it says that this piece is actually in the key of A minor and has been written with an ABA form. Okay, so first of all, A minor. We kind of already knew that because we had this G sharp right in here. And if you've been here for a lot of lessons before, there's a difference between the key of C major and A minor. Even though both keys use all white notes, there's one difference, and that is the key of C major always uses all white notes, and the key of A minor sometimes uses a G sharp. So we already kind of knew that. But there's this other part that we're gonna do in the bonus section. After we do that thing, there's another part that goes, that thing right there, we would call that the B section. So this song actually, if we play the full version, has an A section and it also has a B section to it. So depending on how you play it, this could be an AABA or an ABA. All right, next in our top secret information folder is that this song only uses the ones and the fives of the minor key and the relative. These ones are pretty complicated today, but let me show you this. Later on when we throw in our left hand, in fact, let me go here and we'll zoom out a little bit. There we go. Okay, so when we play this song with our left hand, eventually we're gonna be playing an A and an E. Now, in the key of A minor, A is number 1 because the name of the key is always number 1. If we're in the key of A minor, A is 1. If we're in the key of D minor, D is 1. If we're in the key of B flat is 1. So when we play the A in our left hand later on in level, I think 3, we'll get to playing some left hand. That's going to be the 1 of the key of A, and the only other note in the whole entire song is the 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we've talked about the importance of ones and fives before. Once again, we've got this really famous song that just uses the ones and the fives, ones and fives. When it goes to the relative key, which is C major, because C major and A minor have the same notes in them, so they're called relatives. Later on, when the song goes to the key of C, then it also uses just the 1 and the 5 of that key. But that sentence probably didn't make sense to any of you unless you're in Clapple Academy level 4 or higher. So anyway, when it goes to the key of C major, it's also only using the 1 and the 5 of C major. So it only uses the 1s and the 5s. That was a lot of really complicated secret information. We're about to get back to playing as soon as we give you the last piece of secret information, which is who won this week's raffle. Let's see if it's you. Congratulations, Rockstar Sam. Let us know what prize it is that you want, and for everybody else,
Transitioning
let's
to
level
level
up.
2. This may be confusing to level 1 students, so please continue to practice the level 1 version, or visit learnpianolive.com/level2 for a detailed explanation on how to level up.
Okay, good news here. We're not changing any notes. It's the same as level 1. It looks way more complicated because it's on the lines and the spaces of the treble clef. And if you're on Clapple Academy level, I think it's even 1 and 2, we start reading a little bit on the lines and spaces of the treble clef. All that means is that we're using this thing right here. That's called the treble clef. It's really hard to draw, but it looks really fancy. And all it means is that we're playing mostly higher-ish notes. So we would use a bass clef for the lower-ish notes. So we're going to be playing mostly up here. That's what that symbol means. This thing right here means that we're going to be counting to 3 instead of 4. Usually we count to 4, but in this song we're counting to 3. If you wanted to count, let me show you real quick how that would happen. For this measure, for example, from here, from that bar line to that bar line is called a measure. Again, Clapple Academy level 2, I think, gets into that. And we would count this 1 and 2 and 3 and. So if you are in one of those levels of Clapple Academy, and you're used to counting along and you find out that there's no 4 in here, that's on purpose. That's what that 3 is about at the beginning. Any of the squiggle marks we're about to play, I will stop talking in just a second. Any of these squiggle marks that do not have letters in them, those are just rests. So that means you're going to do nothing there. Or if you want to, you can ignore all of those words that I just said and just follow along by reading the letter names inside of the note heads. So that's what a lot of people do as they're getting done with level 1 and they want to start transitioning into level 2, but it all looks kind of scary and it's hard to understand all of it. They can just cheat by looking at inside the note heads and reading the letters just like you would read level 1. It just looks scarier. It's the exact same thing. So whether you're on level 1 or level 2, let's try the same thing together, starting on that E. Here we go. If you need to pause the video, then that's cool. Then just pause it, practice up whatever you need to practice, come back, we'll all play it together. Here we go. Whatever notes you can do. Don't worry about the notes that you miss. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hear the melodies of timeless grace. A tale unfolds with gentle grace. A piano player's touch, a dancer's glide. While fear Elise the notes confide. And right here on level 2, we never do this, but I added in one extra note here because it sounds so pretty. If with that A, you also play this C here, right here on fide. So the last line would actually be the notes confide. Like that. Now I did also add in the chord symbols for you in case some of you really advanced players are wanting to throw in the A minor chord and the E chord and the A minor chord. Or you want to make up your own version because I know a lot of you guys are really creative and you don't really care how Beethoven meant to play this song. You just want to play your own version. So you'd rather play or any of that stuff. That's all options for you. If you want to go to learnpianolive.com/level2, or if you're in Clapple Academy level, I want to say 3 or higher, then we're starting to learn about chords and stuff like that. So you can use that A minor and that E. Otherwise, ignore all that and just move on to level 3 with us.
To level
Here we go.
3. This may be confusing to level 1 and 2 students. Please continue to practice your own level, or visit learnpianolive.com/level3 to understand how this level works.
As promised in the secret information, we only have 2 notes, the A and the E. That's it. I would recommend playing them low, just like I played them. I think this E is written up here, but this one, this E right here, if I were you, I put it there so that it would still be on the bass clef, which is the sign that graphs all the low notes. But if I were you, I would actually play the E that's way, 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 way lower than that. It'd be like way down here on a ledger line. But that's harder to read. So I put the high E in there for you. But I think the low E sounds better and also prepares you better for level 4. So whatever you want to do, just throw in an E right there. The A is going to happen on the word grace. The E is going to happen on the word folds. The A is going to come back for grace. And then the E is going to come in with lease. And then the A is going to come in with fide. So if we played all of that together, go ahead and if you're on level 1 or level 2, I'll go nice and slow here, and we can play all the notes together. If you're on level 3, you can either just watch me where I played that A and that E, or you can try playing along with me. Here we go, all together. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hear the melodies of timeless grace. A tale unfolds with gentle grace. A piano player's touch, a dancer's glide. While fear Elise the notes confide. And there's that extra C in there too on level 3 as well, because that sounds really pretty. So that's where I would put those if you're on level 3. And if you can do that already, then you are definitely ready for level 4. If you cannot do that already, that's fine. You can play your version all the way to play it in front of your friends. They're going to be super impressed. Just keep working on whatever level you need to work on. But I'm going to show you how to do level 4 right now.
Transitioning to level 4. This may be unsettling to lower levels. Please continue to practice your own level, or visit learnpianolive.com/level4 for an in-depth explanation on how to conquer this level.
Okay, so level 4 has the actual real right version. I don't really like those words, but the version that you've most likely heard before, the original way it was written, with not only the A, but 2 additional notes, an E and an A. So it's going to go A, E, A. And this will also help fill in some of this gap right here, because before, there wasn't anybody here in the studio to ask it out loud, but I've taught this song enough that most people wonder, how long am I supposed to wait right there? Well, once you throw in the level 4 notes, you don't have to wonder how long you're supposed to wait, because your left hand is doing something that whole entire time, and then your right hand starts right back up. So it's the exact amount of time to play an A and then an E and then an A. That's how much time you're supposed to wait on the word grace before you move on to the next thing. Same thing happens over here with folds, except this is that low E that I said you should try on level 3. There's the high E that was written in, and there's a G sharp. And I don't know very many people that can actually reach all 3 of those notes. So you're gonna have to jump around. An E, up to an E, up to a G sharp, and notice I'm crossing over here. I played my pinky and then my thumb, and you don't have to be able to reach both of those. You can play the pinky and then jump up to the thumb, and then cross over and probably play your middle finger or your pointer finger on that G sharp. It's gonna be an E to an E to a G sharp. Most people are not even gonna get this far. They're just gonna be working on level 1, 2, or 3. So if this feels way too difficult, then just take it back to whatever feels kind of like a stretch. But this AEA thing and this EEG sharp thing, that's all that there is in the whole song. The AEA comes back here again, and right here also. So 3 times you're going to do that. This EEG sharp thing shows up right here, and then this last note's just an A. So you're going to play AEA at the beginning, and then you're going to play EEG sharp, and then you go back to the AEA. Then for the last line, you're going to play AEA, and then EEG sharp, and then just an A by itself. That's in the entire left hand. For level 4, level 4, right hand doesn't change a bit. It's the exact same thing. Let's try it all together. Again, if you miss all of the notes except for 1, then cool, whatever. Just pause the video, practice up whatever you need, and then play along and get all the notes that you can. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hear the melodies of timeless grace. Tale unfolds with gentle grace. A piano player's touch, a dancer's glide. Wow, fear Elise, the notes confide. There you go. Once we speed that up, smooth it out a little bit, your friends are going to be totally impressed. You'll know how to play Fear Elise. If you want to play this in a different key, you don't have to, because it's actually written in this key, in the key of A minor, and then later on it transitioned to the key of C. But if you wanted to, that's kind of a thing that we do in level 5, so let's try that out right now.
Transitioning to level 5. This may be terrifying to lower levels. Please continue to practice your own level, or visit learnpianolive.com/level5 for training on how to survive this level.
Okay, so level 5, like I said, this is not necessary, but we can do... Really? We just got to level 5. Okay, let me show you this real quick, and then I'll hurry up, Clap. We'll move on. So this is in the key of C major, which just means, like, if I were to zoom in here, in the key of C major, C is 1. So instead of using the letters like we did before, where we go C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, in the key of C, when we're thinking in the key of C, we don't think much about letters. We just think about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we don't think about letters as much as we do positions inside the scale. Some people think do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, and so on. So you don't have to use the numbers, but positions in the scale is what we use. And the reason we would do that is if you play this thing, like with the right hand playing the yellow part, and you play a 3, flat 3, 3, flat 3, 3, 7, 2, 1, 6. Then you can move this to any key that you want. So for example, if you want to play this in the key of D, where D is number 1, and it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1. If you want to play this in the key of D, then you can play 3, flat 3, 3, flat 3, 3, 7, 2, 1, 6. You can play the exact same song in any key that you wanted. But since this is written in the key of C and everyone's been playing in the key of C, I'm gonna try to call this thing out in the key of C with the numbers. That might mess some of you other people up. So if I mess you up, I'm sorry, but go ahead and try to play all the notes that you can along with us. Level 5 people, follow my numbers. The left hand is gonna be playing these numbers. So the 6 is gonna be the 6th chord, but of course you can play that anywhere you want. You don't have to play it exactly right there. And then the 3 chord right there is gonna be 3 like that. It's gonna have that G sharp in there, just like we had for the rest of the lesson. Whew, we're almost there. All right, hang on, Clapple. We're almost there. 1, 2, 3, 4. 3, flat 3, 3, flat 3, 3, 7, 2, 1, 6. 1, 3, 6, 7. 3, sharp 5, 7, 1. 3, 3, flat 3, 3, flat 3, 3, 7, 2, 1, 6. 1, 3, 6, 7. 3, 7, 6, 1. Yeah. Oh. Thanks, buddy. He says I did a good job and also that it's time to go. So if you have any questions about this song or any other song, then let me know. If you're in the archives, then fill out the survey at the end of the lesson. Ask me your questions. Contact me any way that you want to. Until next time, I think it's time to just go, explore, mess up, have fun. Rock on, friends.
Hey, great, you're still here, so you must want more. Well, I've got 4 things for you: archives, practice tips, points, and jokes. First of all, if you didn't like this week's song, I'm sorry, and you can always go to learnpianolive.com/next song and vote for what our next song should be. And right now you can go to the Kids Lesson Archives and just pick a different song and work on that this week. Now you probably don't have the whole song down yet, so what you can do is, this helps a lot of people, just next time pretend that you're the in-studio student and that in level 3 and level 5 we're gonna be checking in with you and you've gotta play at least some of the songs. I find that my students that come in and they're the in-studio students, they actually learn the songs way faster than they learn their regular songs I give them in their regular lessons. So if you just pretend that you're the in-studio student and that someone's gonna be watching you, then that might help a lot. Also, you have the practice log that you can send in for extra points, and that can help you practice. And there's the daily challenge where you get extra points for logging your practice time there as well. Just click on daily challenge and it will play a video that doesn't have any sound really. You just practice, and then every now and then you'll hear a sound like this.
The number 7.
And then once you collect all of the letters and numbers, then you just put them in and you submit that, and you get points for doing that, and you get better because in between all those letters and numbers, you're practicing your song from the week. Of course, once you know the song, then definitely record yourself on your mom's cell phone or on your tablet or on whatever, and use the video submission button, and so you can send us your video that way and get points for that as well. You might even become the featured video for the week. All right, so let's move on to points. Here's the different ways you can get points. You can get up to 50 points just for participating in the chat in the live lesson. You get 300 points on top of that if you are the person in the chat room that week who makes the most helpful comments during the chat. That daily music challenge thing that I told you about, every day when you click on that and you submit the secret code, 150 points just for doing that. Every song comes with a practice log, and if you fill that out and have your parents sign it and you send that in, that's worth 300 points right there. Each week on Facebook and in the email that we send you, we give you a new weekly activity. It's just a fun little maze or puzzle or something to do. Doesn't really have much to do with music, but it does have something to do with that week's song, and it has something to do with getting you 150 points. Then if you click on survey at the end of the lesson and you fill that out and give us some feedback about the song, then we've given out up to 500 points before for great comments and feedback in the survey. Of course, submit your videos of you playing. Almost every video that gets submitted earns at least 200 points, even if it's not perfect. I guess work on it a little bit, but I'm just saying it doesn't have to be perfect. Here's another one. Every single month at learnpianolive.com/contest, we have a contest and usually give out at least 400 points, and oftentimes there are other gift cards and other prizes included in that contest. Okay, now we're getting into some big numbers. If you ever go to a concert that is classical music or it's classic jazz, which means like swing and bebop and stuff like that, you can ask your parents if it's a classic jazz concert. Then you get 500 points just by having your parents let us know what concert you attended. Now I keep asking you to send us your videos, and almost always you get points right up front for submitting those videos. Don't forget to put the legal disclaimer on your video. You have to say at the beginning, this is for use at kidslearnpianolive.com. But here's an additional way to pick up 750 points. If later on, a month down the road, a year down the road, 5 years down the road, if one of the videos that you submit to us ever gets 1,000 views, send us the link to your video. We will give you 750 points. Okay, but is there anything that I could do that's worth thousands of points? Yes, there is. If you're in Klopple Academy, every time you go from level 1 to level 2, or level 2 to level 3, every single time you level up, you get 3,000 points. And that's not even the biggest one. You get 5,000 points every single time someone signs up for kidslearnpianolive.com and they say that you are the one who sent them here. Okay, last thing before I say goodbye, for real. I told you that I would tell you my favorite joke, and here it is. A butcher backs up into his meat grinder and gets a little behind in his work. Gets a little behind in his work because he's a butcher. It's funny. Trust me. It's awesome. If you didn't think it was funny, that's fine. But go to learnpianolive.com/jokes and you can see some of our students' favorite jokes and you can submit your own. I think that's finally it. I will see you in another live lesson. Love ya. Good luck. Have fun.